Plow, just like that, we're back. What's up, everybody? Good to see ya. So, make sure my audio is working. I can see it dancing around down there, so I think it's working. Good deal. How's everybody doing today? So, I'm Professor Keith, Carolina Keith, Keith the Simp, regular Keith, whatever you want to call me, I'm fine with. Bear with me, please. I am coughing and hacking like an idiot. Pretty sure I have the Rona. Nothing I can do about it. Felt really crappy Sunday. Missed some consults, and I hate doing that. Felt a little better yesterday. Today I feel a little weird. Having these odd dizzy spells, right? Having these crazy coughing fits. So if I cough a little bit or I need to take a second, you'll see me do it. Just bear with me, all right? If you haven't done so, go hit that like button. They're free. They're free dollars. The more we get, the better, because YouTube pushes us up to the top of their list for people to look at, all right? The higher up we can get up the list, the better. I want us to get up on the highest list as possible, and that's not to get more money. It's not the point. The point is to help as many people as possible. We want to help all the people that we can, as many times as we can. It's important to me. It's important to me to help as many people as we can. I feel like the smarter the space gets, the better the decisions will get made, and the more money that'll get made. It's pretty simple if you think about it. So tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about chart patterns. It's something that doesn't get brought up on the channel a ton. And I can kind of explain why. I don't go by the typical stuff all the time because so many people get caught up in what they're looking for that they miss the bigger picture of what's actually happening. A lot of times the chart pattern will show up and you get so enthralled with what that pattern's doing, you begin to get emotional and think, oh no, here comes that pattern, I've got to stop. But everything else is telling you to stay in, right? We'll discuss that, talk about why that works and why it doesn't work, go over some of the basic patterns here, and hopefully get a little bit of education from it, okay? Cool. So let's go talk to everyone and say hey first real quick, right? So hang on a second. What's up, Ron Pote? Said Technical Charts Tuesday. Wow, I like it. Ignacio, what's up? Educated Dummy, what's up? We'll start with the abandoned child candle formation, also known as the hanging baby. That's a candle. That's a candle formation, candlestick pattern. I'm going to go more on chart patterns. I don't want to get into candlestick patterns yet. Maybe next week, okay, when I feel a little better, because that's such a deep dive, okay? People already have enough time with TA. Now you're asking them to do something way overboard, all right? Big Dex, what's up? Good to see you, David R. Educated Dummy. JD Crypto, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Ropa-Dope, what's up? Cycling Cotton. Jag, Terry Brennan, Liam, Bud Wessel, what's up? Martini Tom. Jehovah's Thickness, glad you're back. Glad to see you, brother. Got to try that Hof, brother. It's like doing squats for your lungs. That Wim Hof. All right, yeah, Nasty Nate. Dude, what a great name, bro. People don't even know who Nasty Nate is. I know who Nasty Nate is. That's awesome. Dynamis Crypto, good to see you, dude. All right, so some common chart patterns that we can look through that help us make basic decisions, all right? There's several that I like. Let me pull up a picture for you so you can see here. Let's do... no, I don't want to do that, darn it. Let's do chart patterns. Okay, let me pull it up here on the old computer A. Oh, it won't let me do it because it's saving it as a different file. That's so stupid. All right, there we go. Here's some common chart patterns, all right? Got multiple ones, but I'm going to break this down into bullish and bearish just as this thing shows you here. It's not as complicated as you think, all right? There are multiple of them. They're bull flags, ascending triangles, wedges that break, which we've seen happening lately, and I'm just calling them a trend line, right? I'll say, oh, look, the trend line is breaking, and that's what we want to see, right? Well, there you go. Cup and handle formations, we've talked about those. We talk about inverse head and shoulders and pennant breaks, okay? We've talked about those multiple times, and that's what I'm going to start with, all right? We're going to start with that because that's the best thing to do. So here we go. First thing off the bat, what do I see? Looks like a humongous run up, and it looks to be fading and trying to trade and can't quite get there and stops. Immediately on this Bitcoin weekly chart, let me take all the indicators off. I don't want to see anything else here but candles. I see a wedge. We had this trend line, which was absolutely running on hot, right? This trend line failed. Once this trend line failed, this thing started jogging back and forth. Fine. I'm using Bitcoin for this, but you can use anything for this. Either way, I see a formation here that it kind of couldn't get across this line. I see a formation here. It kind of couldn't get across this line. So you had this trend line coming up. You know, you could even change it and do this one back here, but I don't think that's quite right. We'll go to this very sharp one. This is the weekly chart. You had this movement here, and then you had a rising wedge. What was that I just showed you? Oh, hold on, where's it at? Let me pull it back up again. Open link. There we go. Ascending triangle. There you go. I called it a rising wedge. Ascending triangle. See how that? A triangle is pointing upward? Tells you right there that's a bullish pattern. And what happened? The thing went down. I know that sucks to hear. Here's the bearish pattern right there. A wedge. As you see, test the bottom of the wedge, fails more. What happened here? Very similar thing happened. You had a wedge. It came up and tested the bottom of the wedge and failed more. You had a rising wedge that failed. I know that sucks to hear, and that was tough to decode because it didn't break out up top. It broke out underneath, but that's what you have to look for. That pattern can go either way, and in this particular fashion, pattern fell under. Once it fell under and retested, that was your last chance to get out. That was your chance to stop. That pattern told you to quit. Okay, cool. That does two of them right there already. We can move through this quicker. Flags. All right, there's a bull flag and then there's a bear flag. Okay, this can get tricky. All right, and I know that it can get tricky, but we'll use the same chart to show you that same move. I'm going to cough. I can feel it. Whew. All right. I'm going to get through this. I promise I'm going to get through this. Let me pull the live stream up back again. There we go. Sorry, I had it off for a moment there. I had the Discord pulled up. I was looking through my candle pattern charts there, and I have them saved over there, so I don't have to keep them. Hey, what's up, Papa Nick? Good to see you. Drizzy, Educated Dumb. Ripple Rich, bro. God bless my bro. Nice to catch you. Good to see you, bro. Alvin, what's up, dude? All right, so for flags, you can have bull flags, you can have bear flags, you can have descending wedges or ascending wedges. It's all, again, this is why I don't like doing this, but people want to talk about them, so we talk about them. What's a bull flag and what's a bear flag? I'm going to start all the way at the end here because this is getting talked about now. What's Bitcoin doing currently? You can draw a pretty easy wedge right here, and you probably saw this when the stream started. That's a rising wedge, yeah? Right here. That's a bear flag. Rising up, then fails the bottom and drops. Very well could happen. Similar patterns, if it goes through and breaks up top, great, great. It hasn't done that at all yet. In fact, it's done nothing but fail. I want to highlight this particular part, this descending triangle. This descending triangle shows up on the daily chart. It shows up right here. You can draw this pretty easily and see that that points down. Yeah, not very complicated at all. And let's do a whole massive horizontal line. You have a support and resistance line. I'll do white right there. Hey, look, you've got that same triangle we just looked at. Descending triangle. Wasn't even that complicated. We had a triangle. It never broke out of it. It touched the top of the trend line and immediately broke through the bottom. This next candle was your chance to stop. By noticing a couple simple patterns, you can get out. This pattern happened here as well. This is why people think this is going to keep happening, okay? Same thing. Wasn't as sharp, but same thing. Same move. Rising wedge, failed out from underneath. You had a couple little small candles and a chance to get out, and then down it went. You had your chance. This is why I talk about trend lines all the time. I mention these trend lines for exact reasons like this. Yes, you can draw the entire wedge, and you can say, oh my God, this thing hasn't broken out yet. Oh, it's going to break out. I'm not sure. And I didn't draw these perfect. I'm just quickly drawing them. It's testing the bottom of this wedge now. Yes, it is. Once this happens, you can start adding other indicators in to double check yourself. Oh, what happens with the RSI? It's trending up. It's not dead yet. Oh, look at BTC's MACD. It's kind of up, but it's also going sideways and maybe crossing down, right? Put 2 and 2 together here. Use your patterns with your other indicators. This is just one part of it. Let's talk about head and shoulders and inverse head and shoulders. 2020, before the COVID crash, let me get this for China Matt. Hang on. COVID crash. That's so Matt can make a GIF out of it. You had an enormous head and shoulders pattern form. What is a head and shoulders? Well, just like you're human, you have a head and 2 shoulders, okay? And on top of your head and 2 shoulders, you have a neckline. All right? The chart shows you the same formations. What we're going to be looking at is right here. You can almost see it playing out now. But there is a head and shoulders that formed before this ever fell off. You had shoulder, head, shoulder. You could even say that this was the shoulder if you really wanted to. Either way, clear-cut head and shoulders formation. Furthermore, you have to have a neckline. Where was the neckline at? Pretty easy to see that it was right there. This thing fell below the neckline, tested the bottom of it. You should have already been out before any of this happened. You should have already been out before it happened. Head and shoulders is a bearish formation. This shows up all the time. You'll see me make mention of this because it shows up so often. Okay? You've got to be able to identify it, and when you see it, know it. If you have questions about it, this is what we have our Discord for, okay? Throw up a chart and say, is this a head and shoulders? I bet you people will come back and say yes or no. All right? And then you know, was it or not? So you've asked some other people, and a bunch of people used all their brains together, come up with a better answer. What's an inverse head and shoulders? Probably one of the best examples possible is Zilliqa. Zilliqa's entire chart is a head and shoulders. It's pretty neat to look at. So we can step out to the weekly here on Zilliqa. Man, this is really cool. So, same situation. Instead of being a head and shoulders in a standard formation like you, flip it upside down. All right? In fact, if you're having a hard time seeing that, invert your chart. You click on the little sun down in the corner and invert scale. Hey, now it's not upside down anymore. So you have a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder. They're quite symmetrical, as you see. Now, they're not always going to be perfectly symmetrical. Nothing in the world is perfect. Just use your brain, okay? Get close. And you have a clear-cut neckline. I can't stress to you enough how easy that was to locate for me. It broke the neckline, tested it, and took off. Only we inverted the chart, remember? So let's uninvert it. And you see this move happening right in front of your face. Anywhere in here would have been fine to buy. Why? Because it just broke the neckline and danced around on top of it for a second. Cool. On the daily chart, you start to see how plenty of time was given to buy this. We use the 8 and 21 EMA as an early indicator. 8 and 21 EMA told you to buy way down here when it was riding on the 200-day moving average, didn't it? Then it broke the neckline. This is an opportunity for you to add more and not worry about taking profits because you just broke the neckline and made a bullish formation. Cool. And up it runs and up it runs. Typically, whenever you have a head and shoulders play out like this, after it breaks the neckline, it runs to a take profit zone. Which take profit zone? Well, they're all a little different, and that's up for you to pick up and do fibs on and figure out on your own. They're all a little different, and since they're all a little different, I'll just show you Zilliqa. All right, here's the massive chart for Zilliqa and the massive fibs, all-time fibs. Came down, broke. Just so happens that neckline was right around the 50 fib, wasn't it? It's almost like Fibonacci retracement kind of told you what to do too, huh? This thing broke the 50 fib and snapped straight through. Just got over Sniper's Alley, never quite broke all-time high, fiddle farted around and faded and went back down. Once you saw this thing break Sniper's Alley and not get back through it and start to fall into it again, that's the time to stop. That's the time to stop because it's rather unlikely that it keeps going. And if it does start back up and get going again, great, you can always re-enter. But it's not worth the risk of this thing falling back under and dropping like it did. That is a head and shoulders. I'm going to use the same chart to show you what a cup and handle is. Cup and handle formations are something that people love to draw. You'll see almost everybody constantly drawing cup and handle formations all the time. Ooh, I think this is a cup and handle. So there's a couple simple fundamental things about cup and handles. Cup and handles take 3 to 6 months minimum to form. Okay? They could take longer than that. The higher the time frame, the more vigorous the move, meaning up or down, doesn't matter. So always start on a high time frame in order to find your cup and handle. It's important to understand that you can't constantly draw a half a cup and handle and then call that a cup and handle. There's some simple formations here that you got to hit, all right? First part of the cup, fairly simple, is the fall, the downtrend. Here you have a downtrend. This thing immediately turns back up. Where's the handle? Well, interestingly enough, the handle should be placed above support. The strongest support you can find on Zilliqa, the strongest support you can find is right in this area, right around here, okay? Right about there. This one didn't quite play out the way you wanted to see it play out. You would have preferred if those candles were over support. This is why this is an inverse head and shoulders and not a cup and handle, okay? Gold is a better example. Gosh, I feel really weird. Whew. Got that feeling. I've had nothing to drink, nothing to smoke. Just got that feeling. This is an immaculate cup and handle. Same formation. Big fall here. Sweep up. And what did I say about where you want to see your candles form? Above support. Right here, support. Draw a line. Hey, look, you're dancing around on top of support right now. What do cup and handles look after it makes the cup? You typically get a 30 to 50% retrace. 30 is best. So 30% down. And then you typically finish off your fib set to a take profit line up higher. Cup, handle, and run. All right. Where would that end up at? Let's pull a fib and find out. That's the top. Down to the bottom right here. Up we go. Take profit lines of 2,800, 2,400, and 2,200. So hypothetically here, your handle's going to come down and your price action is going to run up to some of these take profit lines. How many? Dude, I don't got a crystal ball. I don't know. But I know it's going to hit one of them. And I'm going to be ready for that because I got my Forex. I got my finger on the Forex button over here waiting to see gold do something amazing. Hasn't done it yet. But gold is a supply and demand driven commodity. It will go back up. Gold is a hedge against inflation. Hey, has anybody seen the inflation numbers? It's not great. Please understand your cup and handle formations. Obviously, an inverse cup and handle is just the same. Okay. You fall below resistance, you back test it, and you drop farther. You can take every bullish pattern, flip it upside down, and that's the exact inverse of what you're looking for. There's the bearish pattern. Let me answer some questions real quick, and I feel super weird. It's really a nipple. Prove me wrong. What's up, FVG believers? Ooh, cup and handle. I know, right? The soberness catching up to me, man. Terry Brennan, damn, cut it short and get some rest. I'm good. Nasty Nate said gold is the standard. You know, gold has been around for centuries. It's lasted generations. Name me one other currency that's lasted since before the Roman times. The Romans even knew that gold was a commodity and made coins out of it, and then started nipping pieces of coins. And if you really want to find out something interesting about supply and demand and have a little small history lesson, look up coin nipping, Nipping, coin nipping. It's something that they did back then when they ran out of metal, but they wanted to make more coins because they didn't have enough money to give out. They started nipping little pieces of the coins off so they could make more coins rather than actually go get the gold themselves. They wanted to find some gold somewhere else, which was the coin supply. Yeah, what happens when you cut coins apart to make new coins? It's fake. And it failed miserably. You can go back and there's a pretty cool documentary on coin nipping. What you think about the weekly wedge, Keith? On which coin? I'm sorry. I'm a little bit out of it, Drizzy. Liver nodes, bro. Have you guys heard of liver nodes? Have you guys heard of liver nodes? You buy a case, or you can buy a fifth, or you can buy a half gallon. Those are the sizes of the nodes. And then with those, if you get enough cases, fifths, or half gallons, you can put those together and get a liver node. All right. It's very important. I want you guys to go look that up. BTC, gotcha. You can tell I'm a little bit out of it when I start talking about dumb shit like that. I'm an idiot. Liver nodes is not real, folks. It's a joke. It's to make fun of all the fake node protocols that constantly keep coming up. Like, yeah, right. They're not real. They're clearly not real. Here's the weekly wedge I think Drizzy's talking about. So you have a falling wedge right here, which is a bullish pattern, everybody. All right. So there you go. That ain't perfect, but it's close. Essentially, a falling wedge will ride down, bounce around inside the wedge until it's done. And once it's done, it breaks out. Once it breaks out, where does it go? Well, right here's an example. Falling wedges are really cool. Right here's one. You had a wedge falling and then boom, breaks out. It'll typically retest. Okay, it'll typically retest. And this is where you should enter on that retest. And then up it goes. Has Bitcoin done that yet? No, folks, it hasn't. In fact, it's still ping-ponging around inside here. I'll draw this a little better. I know that's not exactly accurate. There you go. There you go. You know, if you wanted to be like Debbie Downer, this thing could keep ping-ponging around inside this falling wedge all the way down to 10,000 by 2023. That would make Peter Schiff right. Since he's never right, I don't think that's going to happen. How about that? This is the first time Bitcoin has ever hit historical support. It hit it already. Can it go lower than that? Yeah, it can. Will it? Well, it hasn't even tested resistance yet. Remember that head and shoulders pattern we talked about? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Damn, that was an ugly shoulder. Shoulder. Right here, we draw a trend line for a neckline. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Underneath you go. Test, test, test. Bam, fail. Now you're into the falling wedge over and over and over again. Still hasn't tested the bottom of this neckline. The bottom of that neckline is around $30,000. We've said that on a previous stream that the $30,000 mark will be a psychological failure barrier. If we're going to fail, I think we're going to fail more in the $28,000 to $30,000 range. That's where I expect failure to happen. Not where we're at the moment. I think it'll go a little higher than that first. It's already broken one short-term trend. When that happens, it tends to run to the next trend line, and it hasn't done that yet. It hasn't tested the weekly 21 EMA in a hot minute, and because of that, I expect it to happen. Crypto Boomers, what's up, bro? Thank you. $3. Every dollar that's donated on here, we give away. We recently gave away a shit ton of food and supplies and other things to small villages in Laos who had nothing. They're dirt poor there. Anything they can get helps. So we sent them some money to buy stuff. Miss Beverly was instrumental in that. So was Now in Lao, the channel. LAO, Now in Lao. You can go on the videos there and click on them and watch them. They mention us, 786 Assassins. Mention Steven in the DeFi Dojo. We came together and we sent them some money. They need fresh water. So we're working on getting some wells done. They're just expensive. Okay. So we're trying to get them some fresh water and build some wells over there. So they got clean water because the government didn't provide enough for them. People here don't know how good they got it, do you? They don't even have clean water. And what do you got? You got thousands of dollars worth of crypto. So think about that, okay? Think about it. Keith, connect the bottom of the weekly wedge with that last low on the weekly. I think that's what I just did. Or are you doing it even sharper? Oh, my fault. I see what you're saying. Yeah, bro, bear with me. I'm a little bit out of it. Yeah, so he's saying it's even tighter like that. That makes sense. I can fuck with that. That's fine. We break this, come up here and test the bottom of that neckline, then what? Right? So either way, I still see the same thing you're saying. I get it. How about XRP, sir? Okay, we'll do it real quick. And then I'm going to get off here. And I'm going to talk to the admins a little bit after that. And then I'm splitting because I am struggle bussing right now. All right. Monthly chart. You know what? Let's do this first. Weekly chart. I actually entered this. Whew. Drizzy, 5 bones, bro. Thank you. The weekly wedge bottom is at 29,000 last thought. Oh, you meant the upward. I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah, I had that drawn a moment ago, Drizzy. I had that drawn a moment ago. You're right. That's that upward rising wedge that could likely fail. This is the one he's talking about and form the bear flag. Yeah, he's saying that right there on it's XRP is the same thing though, right? So let's do our 821 EMA first. 821 EMA, you've just now recently broken the 8 EMA on the weekly. You haven't tested the 21. It's so far away. The weekly 200, this thing blew right through it and never back tested it after it blew through it, never rechecked it. It just danced around it right about 50 cents. I honestly expect XRP to run back toward that marker, and that's why I entered this position that I entered. I see this as an opportunity to get a little bit of profit, a little bit of meat off the bone before more failure happens, because I don't think we're in a bull market yet. I don't think that at all. I think in general, most things are still overall bearish. And for that matter, I'm a little bit cautious to say, yeah. On the daily, I've been watching this pretty closely because, of course, every time I enter something, this shit happens. But yesterday, that just ended, was a nice hammer candle. And a hammer candle tends to mean price goes up. So that's cool. It appears to be trying to break through this resistance that it's got here at about 39.40 cents. If it can do that, I do see it running back up here toward the 200-day moving average, which is way the hell up here. Okay, that's so far. Give me halfway. Halfway makes me about 30%, which is plenty enough to make my 3-to-1 ratio. So that's my take on XRP. Oh, thank you, Terry. Cybertruck, huh? Who told you my secrets? You did. Y'all are stupid. Anyway, 11:29. Sorry, I'm not fully in it. I don't want to quit. I don't like to miss things. I like to schedule things and keep going. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I for sure will be here Thursday. I never miss Thursdays. But I want to thank you all for coming. It's awesome that everyone comes and hangs out. We had 50 people on, 35 likes. That's okay. I don't really care. Thank you for coming regardless. All of you are awesome. We got some cool things brewing in the background. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's still free for the month. Okay, you get free launch pass for the rest of the month. It's September. It's done. So until the end of August, for my birthday, you get free entry, full unlocked Discord until the end of August. If you don't take advantage of it, that's on you. The link is in the bottom of this video. Thank you all for coming. In the words of the late, great Notorious B.I.G., y'all could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate the hell out of that. Thank y'all. See y'all later. Peace.